Hi, I'm Andrew Walsh, and welcome to Trinity College. Today we're going to talk about Hartford, which you see right over my shoulder. This is an old town, an important town, and all of the good and the bad and the complicated things about American life are here to be understood and analyzed. So I'm going to show you around a little bit, and we're going to talk about how Hartford got to be the way it is and what its challenges are and what it offers you. What I'd say as a kind of preliminary remark is that this is a city almost 400 years old. It is as old as an American city gets, and here all the important events and movements and developments of American history have left their mark. This was the frontier, the colonial experience was here, industrialization happened here, urbanization happened here, suburbanization happened here. Very complex and often distressing developments about race are on display here. If you understand Hartford, you understand a lot about the American experience. All right, well, we are now downtown and in the spot where Trinity College originally stood. We're back on the quad. We were at the second campus. The first campus was underneath the state capitol. And we're at a spot intentionally created to tell the story of Hartford and Connecticut. This park, this building. And the state capitol behind me is an example of Hartford's fabulous architectural resources, especially from the 19th century. As you knock around town, you'll see a series of great 19th century buildings which reflect the economic story. Hartford became an important manufacturing center in the 19th century, and the people who lived here had money to build very elaborate public and private structures, and they did. So it's also a place where they wanted to tell the story. And in the 19th century, the story emphasized the fact that for 200 years, Connecticut and Hartford had a very peculiar, distinctive subculture. And to know this place, you have to know that there was this Yankee world for 200 years, where this was a remote agricultural world dominated by Congregationalist Puritan religion. And the instruction that they were trying to give was that those who arrive here have to assume the local culture. They really believe that A plus B plus C could somehow equal A. And the state capitol is an example of that. The park is full of other monuments that are important. None of them is more important than the Soldiers and Sailors Memorial Arch. The Civil War was a devastating, very powerful experience here, cast a long shadow in Hartford. But as you come downtown, which is over this way, you'll see, a full range of American history. The 17th century cemetery, the 18th century state capitol building, the early 19th century Center Church building, and a whole series of Hartford landmarks that shaped the place. But the world that we see here, the downtown that we see here, is shaped by the 19th century and by an explosion of manufacturing that occurred in this city. Hartford had an unusual and very prosperous manufacturing culture and economy. What was done here was very skilled metal making. And this industry and this experience turned Hartford into a major American industrial center and a magnet for immigration in the middle of the 19th century. Hartford went from being a little New England town to a kind of diverse, high technology city in the 19th century. One of the reasons I'm standing here is to show you that Hartford is an interesting place to study urban life, and Trinity is too. And in recent years, we've made a special effort to develop our strengths in urban studies, and in more than just in urban studies, in a whole multitude of ways to study urban life in Hartford, in the United States, around the globe. And part of this effort involves something called the Center for Urban and Global Studies, which is now entering its third year of life. It's directed by Xiangming Chen, a distinguished sociologist who specializes in Shanghai and Mumbai in India. And he supervises many interconnected efforts. Some are like the Cities program, which I teach in. Some are called Community Learning Initiative courses, which we have dozens, which put you in the city for part of your special effort in whatever the particular course you're taking. It's using in some way Hartford as a place to learn about things. And we also specialized in urban study abroad. Many of Trinity's study abroad campuses, which the center also directs, are in major cities around the world, in Barcelona, in Rome, in Paris, in Santiago, in Chile, many places. So you've come to a place that believes that urban life is important in this time, and we're doing our best to get you out and engaged. Okay, here we are downtown, up on the deck of the unloved Constitution Plaza, a really big urban renewal project from the 1960s. And about a mile from the state capitol and 2 miles from College, and on the banks of the Connecticut River. You may be able to hear the traffic noise from I-91 behind me. This is Hartford's downtown, which is full of big shiny buildings. Many of them built since the 1960s, and Hartford is a fine example of American urban renewal. In certain ways, it's kind of an outdoor museum of urban renewal. You'll undoubtedly find yourself down here because this is a place to go for internships, for culture. Hartford has one of everything, and you'll find the things that you're interested in. A few blocks from here is a fabulous art museum. There are a million interesting job and social service and governmental opportunities around here. There's an arts infrastructure here that's very strong, so if you like drama or a whole range of performing arts, Hartford has lots of options, many more than most places its size. Hartford has very serious urban problems, but one of the things you can say for it is that it always tries to fix them. It always has an example of whatever the latest idea to do the thing is. The Science Museum over my shoulder and the Convention Center over there are brand new, shiny examples of that venture. So the effort to renew and fix Hartford goes on. One of the things that's important to say about this, however, is that this downtown, full of insurance companies and banks and lawyers and expensive restaurants and bars and that kind of jazz, isn't tightly connected with the city itself anymore. This is a downtown for the metropolitan region. And one of the things that happens in the middle of the 20th century, that's a key development for you to grasp, is that Hartford changes from being a really compact, tight 19th century industrial city where, a place like our neighborhood in Frog Hollow, which was built so that factory workers could walk to work. It becomes the center of a large metropolitan region. And Hartford's population is now about 120,000 in a metropolitan region of about 1.2 million. Here we are for our final little brief discussion in a place called Blueback Square. We are in West Hartford, in West Hartford Center, about 4 miles from the college, roughly. And this is what urban planners and architects call an uptown. It is a cluster of attractive uses for upper middle class people. And I brought you out here so that you would understand a little bit about the region and the way that it really works. For most people who live here, this is Hartford. They may call it West Hartford, and it's a different municipality, but this is where things are happening. And the thing that's happening in this Blueback Square is a state-of-the-art so-called lifestyle center. And what's happened here is that from clear land, they have reproduced the streetscape of an early 20th century American city in the middle of the suburbs. This is only 2 years old, and West Hartford Center provides the kind of amenities and restaurants that many upper middle class people associate with the good life. So one of the things you have to remember is Hartford is a big place. And it includes Trinity College, it includes the neighborhoods, it includes downtown, it includes the suburbs. And you'll learn to move in the space and learn about how these things fit together. If you master Hartford, you will master the world. Hartford provides enough for most people to get what they want. If you're interested in noisy nightlife, we have that. If you're interested in community service, we have that. If you're interested in interesting internships, we have that. If you want to get a chocolate malt at a fancy place in the suburbs, we have that. Hartford's a real city with real problems and real advantages. It's a place that is alive in many ways, even though the area that you see looks like it struggles mightily, and it does struggle mightily. So solving the problem of Hartford is on the plate for everyone, And if you participate in that discussion, if you experience the life here, if you see who's immigrating, if you see who's moving to the suburbs, if you see how we're struggling to fix the schools, that you will fulfill the purpose of your education.